share with me and get to know me.
Working within it so that you can trust
You gotta
them.
be able to produce things. And I'll tell you why that production is so important. But before we go there, how do you use those two pieces of equipment? And
Success is not necessarily financial, but success is when you feel fulfilled in what you're doing. And then
to other women, they need to know their value, their worth.
But I believe everything that you put your mind to and you achieve, it's success.
Give us all the stuff.
Okay, I'll answer all 16 of those questions right now. I started in the music business at Sony while I was still...
To the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of Renee Speaks. Y'all, I could not be more excited about today's guest. Today's guest is an award-winning live streaming strategist who helps creators and entrepreneurs monetize their talents and expertise. He helps brands sell their products and services, and he helps live streamers with hosting, promotion, gear, and show development. Our guest grows revenue by connecting brands with customers on social media through compelling content and real-time interactivity. As an on-air personality for industry brands including StreamYard, LiveU, and Be Live, he has a dedicated following among digital influencers who look to him for the latest trends and tech. Our guest is the organizer and host of Monetize Live Streaming Now. It's a virtual summit, and it's the first and only live streaming conference devoted entirely to the topic of monetization. He was selected as one of 5 live video experts to follow by Switcher Studio, the #1 Twitter account for learning live stream marketing by Amp Live, and the top 25 video marketing influencer by Analytica. Psychology Today featured our guest approach to social media branding. NASDAQ interviewed him on the future of live streaming. Forbes shared his insights on podcasting. Our guest is a popular guest lecturer on live video and social media topics at New York University. Y'all, put your hands together for Ross Brand!
What a great crowd you've got here today. Unbelievable.
I'm so excited. I can't even stand it. I just cannot.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
I've been trying to get on your calendar for months. Thanks for squeezing me in.
Oh, it's great to be on the show. It's just a few months ago, I think, where you were talking about starting a podcast, and now you're up to episode 18. So congratulations.
It's bananas. I can't even believe it. I just cannot. It's been... I have this program where I record and then several sessions at a time, which many of our guests have suggested that you do it all in one day, and then you drop them all every week, and then that way you make the most efficient use of your time. But we go live, once, only one time. And today, you are our live guest, and
I'm honored.
So
Thank
thrilled.
you.
So thrilled. So I know a little bit about you, and our guests now know a little bit more about you. And those are all the accolades from all of the big names and all of that. But we don't really know the nitty gritty, the who's who of Ross Brand. So tell us, how did you even get started in this live streaming business? and what led to it, and how have you been so successful?
Well, if you go back, I had worked in radio for 12 years. I was a sportscaster on air. I did that for 12 years, and then I had moved on. I figured, okay, I had a great experience, but it was time to do something different, and I had a couple of small businesses that I started, and then I went to grad school at NYU to get a master's in human resources. And after that, I guess it was about a year later, I stumbled into a platform called Blab, and it was like talk radio heaven, except with these webcams. And I just fell in love with broadcasting again, and I had thought I had been done with it, but I just couldn't resist it. First, my thought was, I'm just going to cover this. Like, I'm going to be like the media for live streaming and just report on what other people are doing and share their shows and some of the things that they talk about. But after a while, I got the bug and I started hosting a show, and then that really became show hosting, and then having the broadcasting background, because so many people coming into live streaming came from either tech or they came from marketing and social media. So coming from the broadcasting angle, I was able to help people with actually how to construct content, how to put together a show that could retain an audience and grow. And because there's that mix, right? The content has to be good. And then you have a chance that it can lead back to making an impact on your business.
Right, absolutely. And that part, I mean, that's where the rubber meets the road, right? I mean, because you could have all of the content that you want, but if it's not having an impact on your business, you might need to think about what is the secret sauce that makes that happen. So and I really appreciate that you have, dedicated years of figuring out like the formula,
right.
what it takes. So I'm sure we'll learn a little bit more about that as we get more into the nitty gritty of live streaming and how to monetize it. Because, and even with social media posts, we can spend all day long putting up social media posts with these call to actions and things like that. But if they're not building the business, they're just pretty pictures with a bunch of words. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine to do this as a hobby. And there'll be a small group of people who are able to do this as a business where their show can bring in enough advertising that can maybe sustain or at least be an excellent form of additional income. But for most people, live streaming is going to be an adjunct to their business. They're not going to get paid to live stream by companies. They're going to get clients or sell products or get their brand out there so that they can get new opportunities through being able to communicate with live streaming, connect with people, and share their knowledge and ability to help.
Right. So do you kind of equate this to like being a professional athlete? Like so many kids go to school and they're like, oh, I'm going to be the next Michael Jordan. Or, I'm going to be the next, Brett Favre or whatever.
Right.
I don't even know if he's relevant anymore. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody super professional.
Superstar, right?
Superstar, yeah.
I would actually say that it used to be you would tell kids that, it's 1 in a million or 1 in a trillion that become a Michael Jordan. I actually think probably your chance of getting paid in the NBA or NFL is probably better than your chance of becoming the next Mr. Beast, which seems to be the thing now everybody wants to do, right? Like Mr. Beast makes more than your top sports stars, but I would assume, I don't know for sure, but even if he doesn't, he is an outlier of outliers. I mean, it's not an easy job to make money just on YouTube and through related services if you don't have another business that you're sending traffic to. A few people will do it, but yeah, it's like sports. Most people aren't making money from their show directly. They're making it money through other businesses that the show brings people into.
Got you. Got you. So tell us a little bit more about that then, Ross. What are some key benefits to entrepreneurs that they gain from incorporating live streaming into their strategies?
It's a chance to talk to your customer. It's a chance to engage. There's a live chat, so that makes it different than almost any other kind of media in that you're there live and you can respond to the audience. You can take their questions. You can solve a problem for them. You can demonstrate how a product actually works if they're struggling to, put it together and make it happen. But you have that ability to connect with your customer, provide value, and to connect with other people that you might do business with. And you have over time the ability to establish a digital footprint in which you can more easily be found. And when people are thinking about working with you, they have something that they will find when they throw your name into Google. And whether it's recorded and it's just a clip, or whether it's they're actually coming to the live show, either way, live or live to tape type content has that certain sense of immediacy, that certain sense of connection and authenticity, which is like a really overused word, but in this case, it's like it's really appropriate because it has that ability to just feel like it came right from the person. It wasn't scripted. There weren't 50 takes of it. So that ability to connect in a real way, just like the person was spending time with you in person, is what live streaming at its best can get across to people who might want to do business with you.
Absolutely. I love that. And Tori says that you definitely want to stand out and not be like everyone else, and that the connection truly makes things relatable and personal. And as entrepreneurs, we want our customers or potential new clients to relate to us.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I mean, I've definitely had, people tell me and people tell other people that I've worked with that one of the reasons they decided to work with me or work with some of my clients is I thought it would be kind of cool to get to know you, or I feel like I already know you from watching your videos, so that, they know that, like, okay, this is a personality that I can deal with, that I can relate to, that I'm going to enjoy being around. And for those whom your style or your way of presenting information isn't good for them, that's fine too. You don't waste your time with somebody that you're going to clash with. Certainly it's not the same as meeting in person, but you can learn a lot about people by watching a live stream video, definitely.
Yes. And people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And when you can do a live stream and you can get in front of people and talk to them in an authentic way, that's like, what you see is what you get.
Right. Exactly.
It's like your best friends, because you're so relatable, you're so personable, and you're just breaking down for them the information that they need to have, whether, like you said, it was a question about their product, or if it was a situation that they find themselves in. If you can address those things unscripted, it's coming from the heart. So what better way to connect with your customer?
And they see what you know in real time. You're not getting back to them with a form letter or something. You're actually answering, wow, he really does have a good idea how to solve that. I get a sense of his or her business philosophy and how they go about doing the work that they do. And it is a really powerful way to connect with people.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. And you are the master of it.
Thank you.
So let's get into some more of these questions that we have for you. So for entrepreneurs who are new to live streaming, what are some essential tips or best practices that you recommend to get started and make a strong impact?
Well, I always say for people who are new to it, don't start talking about your business or going live on your business account right away. Go live on your personal Facebook profile and do a few 5-minute talking about things that you're passionate about. Maybe script your first line and your last line, because those are always kind of a little bit awkward when you start and when you end. Even if you're experienced at this, that can be awkward. So in the beginning, just script that first line, script that last line, and commit to not doing it longer than 3 to 5 minutes the first few times, so that you talk about something that you're passionate, that really comes, might be a movie you saw that you loved, or a game you watched, or a hobby of yours. Don't talk about your business right away. Then as you get comfortable, whether that's 3 of them or 10 of them, but you get comfortable doing that, then you can move to your business page. And, whether that's your business Facebook page or your business accounts, and then you can start bringing in a little bit of information about your business. You don't have to talk about your products and services just because you're going live on your business page. You can talk about things that are somewhat related to your industry, that are of interest to your audience. And, oh, by the way, this person from this business. People will learn kind of what you do, and when they have a need for your product or service, then they think of you because they enjoy watching you and the content that you share.
Right. That's great advice. I mean, really great. And it it gives them an opportunity, like you said, to get to know you personally, what you're about, before you go asking for things.
Right.
Because that's almost like cold calling. Do you know what I mean? When you're going live stream and or going live and you just start asking for stuff. It's like, wait, I don't know you. You don't know me. How are you going to ask me for something?
Right. No, I mean, when you're starting out, and this is about driving traffic ultimately to your business and getting new clients and customers, you have to think about it in terms of a long game, and that it's going to take time to build the following. And as you're building that following, those people will get to know you, and over time, then you'll start to see, sales increase and so forth. But it's not something that you can evaluate in a couple of weeks or months even, or maybe even in the first, 6 months to a year.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely the long game for sure. And Rose says that she loves watching live streams, that they're so much more authentic. Rose couldn't agree more. And Briella, that she sells products through Facebook live streaming. And so she's looking forward to gaining valuable tips from this episode. So thank you, Briella, for joining us. And Ross is the man. So you joined on a good day. Okay. And if you have any questions for Ross, feel free to drop them in the chat and we will ask them live right here while we are going live, because you are the subject matter expert and you have helped so many people build their businesses and by monetizing their live streams. So I'm super excited about, our conversation today.
Cool.
So next, how do you stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies in live streaming? Because there's so much out here, so much information. So many people saying, oh, well, you got to use this thing and you got to say this thing and you got to be on this platform. And it's a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
What recommendations do you have for resources?
A good one is, there's a show called the Stream Leader Report on 100 TV. It deals with trends and tech. Seriously, there's 2 levels of this. On one level, there is the fundamentals, right? There's the basics that don't change. How you present your information, how you talk to people, how you put on a show, how you entertain. All those things are fundamentals that don't change. As far as platforms, and go where you start out going where you think you have an audience. There's a lot of, social media is all trial and error at the end of the day. Algorithms are always changing, and you weigh that in, but you also weigh in where's your audience. And, over time you get a sense. I think a big part of tech isn't not necessarily the latest shiny object. It's what makes it easy for me to do what I need to do. Or if I'm getting really good, what is the next piece of gear or piece of software or whatever that'll help me do it at the level that I'm now at. But I think it's a very don't. It comes down to you, the host. It all comes down to you, the host. If I want to watch a show, it's because of the host. It's less about the gear or the platform or, the bells and whistles or the technology than it is, do I like listening to this person? Do I like what they have to say, or do I not enjoy it?
Right. Absolutely. And that really is the bottom line. Like, you as a person, you as your message, you as whatever it is that you are trying to promote. That's what people want. It doesn't matter if you've got the latest fancy mic or if you've got the, on whatever platform. But you said that different audiences are on different platforms. So like, if my audience was 16 to 20-year-olds, where would I find them and how would I know how to reach them?
I don't know. That's not my audience. No, I mean, one would think TikTok might be part of your strategy if you were going for the younger generation. But even there, like within different industries and different niches, it may be different on different platforms. You really have to test it out and see. Obviously, if you're going to a very buttoned down business kind of approach, then LinkedIn might be the place that you'd go. If you want to be really casual and friends and family kind of vibe, then Facebook Live could be a good fit. But most of these platforms, as long as you're not doing anything too crazy, you can pretty much do a mix of business and fun on any of the platforms.
Yeah, for sure. And Tori says to talk like you're having a conversation with a friend and speak from your heart, and people will appreciate that. And that's what she loves about live streams that she follows. So very relatable.
That's absolutely true. We used to say when I was getting into radio, a good show was like talking to your best friend on the phone.
Right.
So live streaming is like a little bit more like talking in person, or but yeah, what she's saying is absolutely, that's on point.
Yeah. It's like having a conversation. Like, that's what you and I are doing, Ross. We're just having a conversation.
With 50,000 of our best friends over there in your home studio. I don't know how you fit them all in. I don't know if you got a stadium in your backyard or
right?
what.
We're all behind the curtain.
Hearing them cheering every time you start the show.
I love it. Yeah, this whole new day and age of technology, man. I mean, there's no boundaries anymore. I mean, there's like your potential is limitless when it comes to building your business now.
I mean, even in the 2000s, I think, sometime where I wanted to make a tape, CD, whatever they were using at that time, to send to a radio station for an opportunity. And I had to figure out, where am I going to get studio time? Like, where am I going to be able to go in and record the thing that they wanted?
Yeah.
And now I'm using gear that's just as good, probably, maybe better in some ways, but certainly not, certainly good enough that I could do everything that I would need that studio for at home, between my microphone, my interface, and my computer, for anything I want to do audio-wise. I could host a radio show from home. The difference in where we've gone in a decade and a half is just, it's amazing. It's almost unthinkable.
Right. It is truly amazing. And the studios, of course, the brick and mortar places that are studios, they have their place, and I think they'll always have their place. But because of the freedom and the portability of a phone and a mic and for a camera, I mean, you can literally be anywhere at any time and create content and develop a following.
Right. Right. And I remember when I used to go to a sporting event to interview players, I'd have to carry around this big thing that replicated, where we pop an audio tape in. You think about the quality of that, but it was this thing that would, record, I guess, in good quality, and you're killing yourself, and you got the microphone, and now I've got something I can fit in the palm of my hand, or there are microphones that actually record at such a high level that you don't even need anything else but the whole. I mean, it's phenomenal what's changed in 20 years or so.
Right. It truly is. And it's getting better and it's getting smaller, as the, time goes on, and now they're, using drones that can fit in your hand and, it's just so, I say easy, but I'm using easy very loosely, but it's it's anyone can do it. If you've got half a passion or half a desire to share, any piece of information, because we all have something of value to add in this world, and no one has had our own experiences, and only we can tell it like we can because it's ours. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So we definitely want to hone in on that and capture that, especially as it relates to our passion in our business.
And there's no gatekeeper standing between us and our ability to share that with the world. And that's the biggest difference. You don't have to work for a TV station or a radio station, or, you don't have to audition or anything else. You can get on and, your show can take off and, at the top level. I mean, people who are doing online are doing better in many cases than people who are working for, in TV, or, you hear a lot about what goes on with cable TV wars and all this stuff. It's not that big an audience that they're fighting over. I mean, when you think about some of the podcasts and what they do and some of the biggest YouTubers, you're talking about a whole lot bigger audience and a whole lot more money. And that was probably unthinkable for TV people not very long ago.
Right. Well, I know. I even heard one actress came on television and was doing a talk show with somebody, and she was so visibly aggravated that somebody had a YouTube channel making more money than she was, and she's been an actress and went to acting school all these years, and she's not making what they're making. And that just kind of is the way it is, nowadays. You don't
and
have
there's
to.
Lots of talented people who probably went to acting school and put in all the work and never got the opportunities that she did because they didn't get past the gatekeepers or whatever. And then there's, some of those kind of people too are people who have experience and credentials who started doing something online because they couldn't get their foot in the door or past the gatekeeper. And now, they're in control of their own destiny instead of at the whim of the winds and the changing management and all that kind of stuff that can definitely change your life overnight when they change their minds.
Right. Exactly. I mean, the power of the internet, the power of live streaming, it's just unfathomable. It's just, like I said, limitless in what can be done by anybody, literally anybody.
One of the things I talked about in my show a couple of weeks ago is that I didn't have a smart TV up until like a year or so ago. And since I got a smart TV, I actually watch YouTube on TV more than I watch TV on TV. Other than live sports or breaking news, which still TV is the place for most of that. Right. Although the NFL now has a package with YouTube TV and there's a lot of stuff changing in that area. But still, for live sports and news, it's still TV does that best for the most part. But for everything else, like, okay, why do I need to watch some talk show on a news channel where every 5 minutes they take a break, they bring in a guest, 3 questions, take a break, bring in a guest, 3 questions, when I can watch a 2-hour interview and, if it's good, long form where the guest gets to speak and the conversation gets real in depth and the people start talking about things that they would never get into on TV. I'm like, yeah, no, I'd rather watch a video podcast on YouTube than I would most TV shows. Yeah,
definitely. For sure. I mean, like you said, TV has its place, sports and news, for the most part. But yeah, smart TVs are definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
If you want dedicated, uninterrupted and that's the whole commercial and that industry is a whole nother subject for another
You
day.
still got to click that every 6-second thing when they throw a commercial in the middle of like, whoa, I want to find out. Get me out of that. But
Right.
small price to pay, right? And you can always buy the
Exactly.
YouTube Premium if you really have a problem
Right.
with that.
Yeah. Just pay the money. No commercials. And then we get spoiled. And then we go to regular TV and it's like, wait, why are they stopping?
I know. What are they doing?
So weird.
Everybody watches it on DVR anyway.
Right. It's like fast forward through that thing anyway. So Ross, tell us what's coming up for you and how do we reach you and what's next for Ross Brand and Livestream?
So right now we're working on 100 TV, which I'm thrilled you're a part of. It's a network of independent creators who are collaborating together. Right now we're focused around one YouTube channel, and we're also starting up a podcast network. And on Mondays, we've been doing a live with about 6 hours or so of shows. So Renee is going to be featured big time on Monday. She's got 5 shows that will be running throughout our day-long live stream, probably starting early to mid-afternoon. But she'll be going for quite a while. And so stop by, definitely. 100 TV. It's at 100 TV Network. YouTube.com/@100 TV Network. Support Renee. I'm going to be in the chat. Definitely. I don't have a show in that live this week, so I'm excited to focus on what Renee is doing and some of the other creators this week as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ross, for that plug.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Thanks for joining us. And I mean, thanks for everything that you're doing. I mean, like I said, it was only a few months ago we were talking about your idea of a podcast, and now you're 18 episodes in. Plus, you've got 5 shows rolling on 100 TV on Monday. So great stuff. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. You have done just a Herculean efforts to bring about 100 TV. And I'm so glad that you had the idea. It was your brainstorm and that you are making it happen. And I'm so proud of you and so excited to be a part of the journey and cannot wait to see where it goes. So everybody,
thank you so much.
Yeah, on YouTube at 100 TV Network, or at 100 TV.
At 100 TV Network.
At 100 TV Network.
There you go.
Join us on Monday. That is awesome. And it looks like Briella has one quick question before we wrap up here and get ready to head over to 100 TV Network for Renee Speaks Golden Nuggets. Briella wants to know, what tools can I use to do live streaming on multiple platforms? Because right now she can only do it on Facebook.
We use StreamYard. I know Renee is using StreamYard as well. That's a great one for multi-streaming, but there's a lot of different tools. Ecamm does it, Restream. Most of your live streaming tools now allow you to go to more than one destination, some up to 5 to 10 or more, depending on what plan you're on. But StreamYard's a great one for getting started. It's very easy to use, and there's a great community of people who are using it and can help you as well.
Yes, absolutely. I love StreamYard and their customer service, even in the chat. You know how sometimes they give you the chat bot and say, how can I help? And like, it takes them forever to answer your question.
You
and then
an
it's
email
usually
2
another
days
chat.
later.
Right? Yeah.
Here's
Not
a couple of articles you could read. Let us know if this solves your problem.
Who's got time for that? Look,
StreamYard, they jump right on, right?
They do. They're so good. So good. I could not recommend StreamYard enough. I mean, they're so good. I love them.
Cool.
And they didn't pay me to say that either. I need an affiliate link. No, but they are amazing. And we are actually going to wrap up this session of Renee Speaks here live as we get ready to go into the green room, have a cup of coffee and a donut as we get ready to broadcast on 100 TV Network with Renee Speaks Golden Nuggets. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you over on YouTube.
Thanks, Renee.
Find a mentor.
To learn things on
It's
the
like a multi-million-dollar business.
Of your journey.
Moments in time we can make an impact one
A little bit better.
When it comes to launch, feel fulfilled.
Everything that is
You were made for something great. So go and be awesome.